Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'll be talking about the return of India and China to the world stage. India and China, amongst other nations, have scared the West with their quickly growing economies and numerous technological advancements. Specifically, India and China have been moving a balance of power from the West towards the East, and will likely continue to do so. Currently, China is the second world's greatest economy, and India is the fifth. These two nations are planned to continue rising through this list and occupy the first two spots. This might seem weird, as not that long ago, these two countries weren't even in the top 10 of the world's greatest economies. As I'm going to speak about today, you will see that this isn't an anomaly, but rather a return to normality. These flags represent some of the governments that have controlled the area of these countries throughout the centuries. The variety of governments that have controlled these territories have had their borders changed and adjusted multiple times throughout the centuries. Furthermore, these countries were able to have the biggest population, economies, and armies often in history. This is in large part thanks to their big population, as well as being on the forefront of technological advancements. This table shows the economic output of a certain area based on the modern borders of a country. So for example, China, the GDP shown shows the economic output based on the modern borders of China that people had during those years. The years in green are when China or India had the world's largest economy, while the years in blue is when the USA did. All these GDPs are based on the 1990 US dollar. As you can see, starting from around the year 1 all the way to the end of the 19th century, either India or China had the world's largest economy. And only recently has the West catched up and surpassed them. These predictions were made by economist Angus Maddison. The rise of the West. Starting with the Renaissance, and then only truly catching up after the Industrial and Agricultural Revolution, thanks to it allowing the West to have greater populations and to have greater economic output per person, the Western nations have been able to catch up to the Eastern ones. In addition to this, colonialism and imperialism has aided the West's rise in economic size, thanks to being able to call upon a lot of resources and technology from around the globe. Let China sleep, for when she awakes, the world will tremble. This quote is commonly attributed to Napoleon Bonaparte and represents the potential power, both military and economic, that China can have if it's given the right tools and know-how. So the economic miracles of China and India, throughout the last few decades, both of these countries have averaged very high GDP growth rates, and this has led them to surpass many Western nations and to become some of the world's largest economies. We were able to do this thanks to, again, their massive population, as well as being connected to the international market and offering price-competitive exports of goods and services. This graph shows predictions of GDP of certain countries, including the USA, the European area, Japan, China, and India. As we can see, China is predicted to surpass the USA as the world's largest economy by real GDP in 2035, while India is supposed to do the same around 2075. This prediction was made by Goldman Sachs in 2022. So future of politics and military surrounding these countries. Many people are worried about China's economic and political rise since the current government has claimed territories outside the current borders and has led people to believe that it might do military action to get control of its territories. On the other hand, India has a more calm foreign policy, but nevertheless, they are growing the size of our military. In conclusion, we should think to ourselves, are these new emerging nations that are threatening the current balance of power in the world, or are these timeless superpowers that have come back to reclaim their rightful spot on the world stage? I think that it's the second, and that we will continue to see these nations reappear in the top economic and biggest economies on Earth throughout the centuries. Thank you.